Paddy's Day, lads, 95, all right? First All-Ireland victory. That was some day, weather-wise, everything. I mean, I can remember going up to that and the hoarding being blown away from the side of the pitch. Weather conditions were horrendous. That was a dogfight.
The proudest things that I would have with playing with those teams is our second half performance in that game. And whether you win or lose, you know, it doesn't make a difference really. No, we were damn lucky as such in a way to draw that game. But I just think our performance from our back line and our forward line against the wind, against the very strong wind in the second half when we came in at 4 points down, I mean, that gives me that kind of feel, you know, that's what I look back over my career and say, yeah, I'm delighted to be part of that, you know.
All I can remember is the huge relief in the dressing room after the match. Because if we had come away from Croke Park that day without a second chance or without a win, I think it would have probably broke up that team for quite a while. I think it would have been the end of that team. There was huge resolve, especially in that second half performance, and it'll go down, as Johnny says, one of the great performances, you know, of a team.
98 All-Ireland, I have to say it was probably my most enjoyable All-Ireland, even after the match and that, you know, the way it just went about things.
Yeah, well, I suppose our disappointing factor was after we didn't build really for the next couple of years in 95, we slipped a bit, and Pádraig finished up as manager. He had 3 years done, and my dad put his name forward and was selected, and he looked at what was there, and he looked at bringing in a lot of new blood. From there, in 97, you had the likes of Niall Claffey coming through, and you know, Gary Hannafy was starting to you know, make a name on the team for himself, and we had a lot of young lads pressing to get through onto a team that probably for the previous 2 years underachieved a little bit.
Yeah, and I suppose, like as you said, going back, like it was 91 when our sort of group won our first county title. It was 3 years again before we won another one. It was 3 years again before we won another one. So like
absolutely nothing to do with your bad knees.
No, I didn't come on till 91, Johnny.
Well, at 91, gets injured, comes back in 94, win again, gets injured again, back in 98.
Oh yeah, it's a lucky charm all along. It's a lucky charm. Yeah, so it was. As I say, you know, you sort of realise that these things don't come around too often, and you do get a little bit more mature about the way you approach things. And I think I was captain in Pádraig's last year. And I think when Padjo came in 96, he bestowed the captaincy on me again for another year, which was a great honour. But no, I think we showed a level of maturity, and we had, when we came on the team back in the 91, we didn't have that 26, 27, 28-year-old to help us out. And the younger guys who were fabulous hurlers and everything came into a seasoned team as such, with guys with lots of experience and that, which were able to nurture them on to be the next level when we were going to be drifting off, you know, which was a huge achievement, you know.
And I think, you know, obviously, you know, 98, I mean, we won, and obviously we had the unfortunate, untimely death of Tommy, you know. And I think, you know, in a way, I know we were in the dressing room afterwards, and there was quietness, there was, you know, it kind of put things into perspective, even though that we were after having an absolutely marvellous win. And again, when you win by a point after extra time and in a second game and everything, but you know, I think it galvanised that, you know, even though Sarsfields were there waiting in the final, it was probably never going to happen to them, just because of the semi-final and say the untimely death of Tommy.
And going out that day, normally I'd be a big worrier about the opposition, who has to be sort of closed down or whatnot. It was the one game. It didn't matter who was out going to be hurling. I had no doubt we were going to win that game.
I think it's important to understand that, like, when you go back and you look at getting the 2 consecutive Club All-Ireland final days and Paddy's Day and be successful to win them. Like, when you're coming out of Offaly, you still have to go through the Leinster route.
Yes.
You know, and there's a lot of matches and there's a lot of teams. You mentioned the Kilkenny teams there that had to be faced the whole time. And you've 3 or 4 games before you get even out of there to get to an All-Ireland semi-final. So there's a lot of pitfalls that can be on the way.
I remember one year the Carlow champions was the St Mullins.
That's right,
They posed with 10 minutes to go. They were 3 or 4 points ahead of us down in Carlow, and
we went up to Wicklow. We played Kiltegan.
That's right, yeah.
We played Kiltegan actually down here. We only got
4 points.
4 points, and it was
you got a rocket of a goal.
Yeah, sideline, all the way in, bounced in or whatever. The goalkeeper dropped it, you know.
So, like, just to get to those stages, there's a lot of navigation to be done once you get outside your county in Leinster, Munster, or whatever. You know, even up in Antrim and so whatever. Whereas in Galway, you have your Galway Championship.
You have a break.
You can have a break then. You know, so I mean, you know, to get that far and to be successful and to put 2 back to back was a fabulous achievement for us.
I think it was a defining moment, because I think what it done was, and it's only years later you realise, not alone in your own club or your own county, but throughout the country, the achievement that Birr,
the
recognition that we got from that, because some sort of a poll done a few years ago of the greatest club teams, and there has been great club teams, you know, the Sarsfields, the Athenrys, the Ballyhales. We were voted number 1, and I think that was a huge recognition of that achievement, because that achievement is so rare, to put 2 clubs back to back. As you said, Joe, the amount of games you have to play first in your own county, your own province, and you're playing champions every time. And that's the one thing people forget. You know, you're playing champions of their own county who don't die too easily. And I always maintain this: if we were fortunate enough to have a clean bill of health in 2003, I think we would have put 3 Leinsters back to back. Lachlan Gales,
that's right,
they beat us. But we were short of the All-Ireland team. We were short 5. You know, and that's from the March to the December, would say we were short 5 off that team.
Like, they were the first Kilkenny team to beat us in club hurling.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
And it sort of put us on the back foot a little bit, but at the same time, we were very, very close to doing something that totally unique, you know.
I started back senior with Birr, 88 or whatever, hurled for till 2006 with Birr. You were a bit longer, Brian. Johnny, you finished 2003, I think.
2003, more or less.
I suppose in a 17-year period, from start to finish between the 3 of us, it's been phenomenal what we've achieved and what we've won in that period of time. 12 counties, 7 Leinsters, 4 Club All-Irelands, you know, in that period of time.
I mean, you can count them up and it's impressive enough, and it's impressive for the stats, but you know, it was just marvellous to play in such great games and tight games, and that kind of thing, more so than actually the winning of them, you know.
Yeah, I know. For me, I suppose the big thing about the 17 years was the camaraderie that was built up, and the friendships that were built up over it all, and the bond that was there, and getting to play with and against so many good hurlers, great teams, and everything down along the way. We were blessed, and winning just came along with that. But we played it because we're club men. Do you know what I mean? And that's an integral part of our nature and our upbringing, and that's what, to me, hurling was about hurling with Birr, and that was it, and doing as well as you could do.
So Brian Whelehan to take it. Paul Murphy to adding to it, and step on the goal line, but it's in. He's got a second goal. What a dream start. 2 goals. A broken stick. Out to midfield.